Hey there, Drew here, and welcome back to the Drew Saur coaching channel. If this is your first time here, thanks for joining us. This channel is for those of us who want to have stellar careers with a little less stress, and if we can, a bit more fun. My job is to bring you ideas that'll help you look at your career in a new way. I promise that if you try them out, you'll start to see the professional world differently. And more importantly, they'll start to see you differently. So this video is part of my series on persuasive storytelling. Because ultimately, to succeed in our career, we need other people. So the question we're trying to answer is, can I convince other people to join me? And what I want to talk about today is an idea around influence and what you need to do to understand an individual to be able to influence them. And it starts with the classic adage of actions speak louder than words, which most of us have heard. It is, a true statement. And the real question is, so what do you do with that? Because to influence, to succeed in your career, you need to do something that not everybody else is doing. So what we're looking for here are things that you can do differently than everybody else. And back to the actions, right? Words are great at communicating information, right? And if you want to understand a topic, you can read a book. The words are very effective when you're doing information transfer. But influence is not about information transfer. It's about aligning to another individual in a way that will convince them to go along with whatever you're trying to get them to do, right? And so what we want to do is build a persona of that individual. What are their motivations? What are their engagement styles? How do we best understand them in order to communicate in a way that will attach to the things that they find important? That's what influence is, right? It's saying, okay, I want X, and I would like your help getting X. Well, if you don't want X, you're not going to help me. So my job is to help you understand why X is in your own best interest. So to do that, I need to understand what your own motivations are. And I can show you how X relates to what you really want. I have to present the information in a way that aligns to the way you digest information. Do you like visual information? Do you like auditory? Do you like something written down? Do you want to hear a story? All of these are different ways to interact with somebody. And so the question is, how do you build that persona? And this is where the idea of actions speak louder than words comes into play. Because in reality, our actions are where you find the insights that a lot of other people miss. We're taught to listen very carefully. We're listening to the words. We're trying to digest what you're saying. That's a very classic way to engage with somebody. And it's called active listening. You want to engage, all this kind of stuff. It's very good. It's very useful. You should do it. But the thing that will differentiate you is by thinking about the actions. And in particular, finding the places where the actions may or may not match the words. And even better is when you find it doesn't match, you've found a true insight. And so how does this work in the workplace? Sometimes it's kind of obvious. I say, please ask any questions, I'm open, but as soon as somebody asks questions, I get all grumpy and I'm a little sharp with people. So while I say I want questions, my actions tell you I don't really want questions, right? And that's the kind of thing where if you just listen to the words, you're not going to pick up on these other clues. So what happens if you don't do this? What happens if you don't watch the actions with as much, if not more, focus than the words? Well, then you get stuck in only knowing what they say. And as I said, oftentimes what they say is not 100% correlated to what they're actually doing or how they're behaving. And the behavior is what drives. So you're just going to be missing things. And chances are you're going to get frustrated because you're going to say, well, they said this, but then they're doing that. I don't understand why there's this disconnect. And the reality is, if you see the behavior and you know that's the more true statement of where that person is, it will be consistent because they'll be consistent with their behavior. And now you try to influence them based on their behavior, not what they say. So that's the idea. What I want you to do in order to increase your influence is study people's behaviors and match that back to what they say, not the other way around. So what's the exercise? The exercise is to do just that. So pick somebody important in your career, maybe your boss's boss, a peer, somebody else who will have an influence on your ability to get that next role, and study them. Create a persona. And what I want you to do is layer in the action persona. Listen to their words, hear what they talk about, but then layer in what do they do. And what you're trying to do is find those instances where they don't seem to quite match, because that's where the insight is. That's where the edge is, where you can understand what's truly motivating them, because that's what's driving their behavior, not their words. And if you can do that, it will increase your influence and you'll be better able to align them to help you achieve your goals in your career. So try it out. Let me know in the comments how it goes. And as always, when you're trying to make a change like this, and this is a mental reframe and it can be difficult to do if you haven't done it before, it helps to have a partner. You can rope in a friend or you can hire a coach. And if you're interested in working with me, you can go to drewsaur.com and schedule some time for us to chat. I look forward to seeing you next time.